Now, I remember when I first got involved with politics, I was pretty apathetic until I was watching this Fox News debate, and there was this guy on stage back in 2007, and he was just speaking beautiful music. Someone, a politician that actually made sense, or excuse me, not a politician, a statesman. And as you know, his name was Ron Paul, and he opened my eyes to a lot of things. Libertarian, what is that word? What does it mean? I never knew, right? When you break the word down, libertarian, you have liber, which means liberty or freedom, and liberty is the absence of tyranny or oppression or control in our lives. And tarian is believer in, like a vegetarian, right? They believe in eating vegetables. A libertarian, we believe in a free society. We believe in living our lives how we choose as long as we don't infringe on the rights of anyone else. Thank you. Now, along this journey in 2011, I was elected Northern Vice Chairman of the Libertarian Party of California. I owned a couple of businesses. One was up here in Washington, and I'd travel back and forth. And one thing I really loved about Washington State were the people, okay? There were so many motivated, like-minded people who are here in this state focused on taking decisive action to reduce the size and scope of intrusive government. Now, we really are a grassroots movement. Just look around. We are the movement. Now, before I get started, I want to thank the Libertarian Party of Washington State Executive Committee for creating a convention pricing structure that is conducive and encourages growth and attendance. They deserve a round of applause. When I was introduced to libertarianism, I learned about economics. And when you lower the barrier of entry, when you lower the cost, more people can enter. It's an interesting concept, right? Now, the pricing structure laid the foundation for a very successful convention. Look around. Last year, I believe there was around 40 people. This time, we had about 114 registered to come to the convention. And we all know that the journey of 1,000 miles, it begins with the first step, right? But what about step 2 and step 3 and step 4? The Whatcom County Libertarian Party are really the ones who put together this impressive convention. Right? Today was made possible due to their hard work and dedication to the cause of liberty, especially Jason and Barb Del Ra. And last but not least, all of you taking your valuable time and energy to water and cultivate the tree of liberty. Go ahead. Thank you. Now, it is my purpose to give future generations a better world than the one I inherited. You see, I was born into a world where there was already a war waging. And the war is, of course, that of freedom and liberty versus tyranny and oppression. I was born into a world with laws that I didn't get to choose, with taxes that I didn't get to choose. So I'm working to take back those laws, to take back our liberty. And I want to touch on something really quick. Everyone sees this little button with a lion. I've had a lot of people ask, well, is that the new mascot of the Libertarian Party? No, not really. That just reflects my personality. A lot of people are familiar with the porcupine, right? The porcupine with the Libertarian Party. And porcupines are very defensive creatures, right? They have the spikes sticking out. And I see the porcupine libertarians as libertarians that are defending their liberties that they have right now. Now, I look at the lion as an offensive creature, okay? We are working to take back the liberties that were already stolen from us. We're taking offense. We're going on the offensive. Now, the biggest obstacle we must overcome to win this war is not the tyrannical government. It's ourselves. Our limiting beliefs, our subconscious programming, our self-created fear in our own lives, the fear of speaking out, talking to neighbors, talking to strangers, and the fear of taking actions that we're unsure of. These actions can't physically hurt us, yet most people are afraid of them. You see, when we realize our true power, that's when we will win. Now, when I started this path, I had no idea what I was doing. When I was elected Northern Vice Chairman of the Libertarian Party of California, I saw the potential of the Libertarian Party, but I had no idea how to harness it. I didn't know how to run a political organization. I didn't know what actions I was supposed to take to advance liberty. I just knew that I needed to do something, right? I needed to learn how. Now, knowledge is one of the most valuable commodities one may possess. With that said, I would like to plant this attitude within your mind, an attitude that has grown into a majestic oak within me. And the attitude is this: we are better today than we were yesterday, but not as good as we will be tomorrow. This attitude is the foundation of personal growth. It's the foundation that will take us to the next level. This attitude has grown within me and given me an insatiable thirst for knowledge. However, do not be confused with the fallacy that knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. If knowledge was power, a set of encyclopedias would be one of the most powerful objects on this planet. No, knowledge isn't power. The correct use of knowledge is power. Taking that knowledge and putting it into action. It's one thing to learn how to grow a political party. It's one thing to learn how to run for office or run a political campaign. It's one thing to learn how to articulate libertarian solutions to convey our message. But when you start putting that knowledge into action, that's when the magic happens. That's when we start taking back our natural rights from an intrusive and tyrannical group of people known as our government. When we realize that we can step out of the lines that we were told to stand in, the R's and the D's, when we realize that we could step away from what the news tells us to do, that's when we'll be able to win. That's, when we take a stand, other people can see us standing, and they can follow our lead, and we can guide them and show them why we're taking a stand, and how, when they take a stand with us, we'll win. And until everyone is standing and not giving away our power to corrupt men, to stop following and start thinking for ourselves, to become leaders in our own communities, to stop being programmed by the mainstream media and the television. When we all come together and decide to declare independence from the two corrupt political parties, we could truly achieve freedom. I am free because I say I am. My freedom is not dependent on any government benefit or piece of legislation. Our rights are inherent in the fact that we are sovereign beings. We were born sovereign beings. Our rights are non-negotiable. Government can list them and protect them, but my rights are not theirs to give away. It is up to all of us working together to make this happen. We must unite for liberty, or one day we will wake up and there will be no liberty. It is up to us to change. It is up to us to be the change we want to see in the world. And right now, we have a huge opportunity in Washington State. I've been driving around the state. I've been making phone calls since I became executive director. I'm actually speaking at the Republican Liberty Caucus State Convention next weekend, building bridges with other like-minded organizations, other like-minded people to advance our issues. That's what it's all about. And today, here at this convention, when we passed the bylaw change to be able to endorse and support candidates from other organizations. I'm not just talking about any candidates. I'm talking about liberty-leaning candidates, people who are actually going to advance liberty when they get elected into our government. And there's a couple of people I want to recognize right now that will do just that. There's two candidates in this room who are running for, one for state senate, one for state house, running as Republicans, but they are philosophically libertarian. And one is Travis Couture, running for state senate. In the 35th district. And the other one is Josiah Rowell, running for House in the 35th district. And they also have Dan Griffey, who's running for House in the 35th district as well. That's a Liberty slate. That is awesome. Now, talking about Liberty slates, we have another candidate in here who's running for city council. His name is Eli Olson from Marysville, Washington. Thank you. And there are two other liberty-leaning candidates for city council in Marysville, Washington that are going to be running with them, running on the same issues, pushing the libertarian principles out into their community. These guys need our support. We've got to help them. And you know what? I believe that everyone in here feels the same way as I do. Now, we have this opportunity. It's up to us to take it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and step off the stage, and I'm going to introduce to you a woman who is very passionate about libertarianism. She is so passionate, she became the Libertarian Party of Whatcom County Vice Chair. Her name is Tina Sorensen, and she's going to come up and talk to you about her reasons for advancing liberty. Thank you.